Hey there, this is Johnny B. Welcome to the lab. Today I want to show you how you might sew a hem like on the bottom of a pair of pants without a free arm machine. Now, most people on their domestic sewing machines, they have a free arm that they can just kind of put the pant leg on there and sew in a circle. It makes it pretty easy, but sometimes you have something that's so small that you can't get it around your free arm. Something like this. This is a bit of an exaggeration. I just sewed it up for an example, but I've made clothes for my dogs, and the legs on those can get this small. I imagine small children's pants might have a pant leg like this, and you won't be able to get that on your free arm machine. Another reason you might want to sew without your free arm is you don't have a free arm. A lot of older machines, like if you have an old antique Singer, that won't have a free arm on it. It's a great machine, but there's no free arm. How did they hem pants on that without a free arm? An industrial machine like this is just a flat bed. This is pretty much the only lock stitch machine I use, and I've made plenty of pants on here. And I'm going to show you how you can sew very small tubes or regular size ones without a free arm. First trick about sewing a hem on a flatbed machine is you can't, I suppose you could sew it like this and keep going, but I like to sew mine with them flipped right side out. I find that if I have my pant leg right side out and the bit that I want to sew is on the bottom, that makes it much easier to sew a hem on a flatbed machine. So I'm going to lift my presser foot, put it down, so you just sew a little bit and then roll it to bring more of the work in front of the presser foot, and then you just sew again. So I'm coming up to the side seam on this pretend pair of pants here, and there's going to be a bit of a bulge, and this demonstration wasn't really to show how to use one of these, but I might as well get into it now. This, people call it a hump jumper. There's lots of different names for it, but sometimes when you get to a bulge like this, you might skip some stitches as the machine goes over it, and that's caused by the presser foot not exerting all of the pressure on the fabric that it's supposed to, because once it hits this bump, the foot kind of gets at an angle and it's not exerting pressure on all of the fabric. So some of the fabric on the top layers pulls up, and as the stitch tries to form, it fails. So a way to get around that is you can put this under the presser foot, and that will allow the pressure from the presser foot to be applied to all of the fabric under the needle. And it's really the stuff that's under the needle that's important. The fabric ahead of the needle, it really doesn't matter. So as long as you're keeping the pressure on the fabric where the needle is, then it should sew fine. And then when you get to the end of that bump, you can put your hump jumper back in front of the presser foot until the presser foot can be completely on the flat piece of fabric after the bump. And then you pull this out, and then you just keep going. I'm getting to where I started. Snip those threads off rather than let those get tangled up. as we sew past them. And then I stitch right over where I started, line them up, stitch a little past, back stitch to lock it. There you go. Now we've got a hem all the way around using a flatbed machine without the free arm. I promised I would show how to do a very, very small piece as well. Again, you flip it right side out and you do the same thing. It's a little trickier because you don't have as much room to work with, but it can be done, right? So now you're gonna sew just a little bit, and then bring some more forward, sew a little bit. There you have it. You'll be able to hem really small tubes with a flatbed machine. I hope you found that helpful, and now you know that you don't need a free arm machine to hem your pants. And you don't have to be intimidated by really small tubes that you need to hem. This technique also works on a serger. Sometimes you're going to want to put like a cuff on a shirt, and the sleeve is going to be too small to get around your free arm, or you have an industrial machine that doesn't have a free arm. And you can do the same thing where you turn the shirt inside out and you sew the bottom part of the tube. Thanks for watching.